सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिनि व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। नारायणं पद्मभवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यस्मद्गुरुं सन्ततमातोऽस्मि। यत्साक्षात् सच्चिदानन्दं प्रत्यगद्वयमक्रियं तन्नमामि नृसिंहस्य योगिगम्यं परं पदम्। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। Moving further, Jnanamakshi. So Anavabodha has been said to be the Karana. Yeah. Anavabodha for the, in the end, for dukkha. So here, Bhavatu Evam. Now Purva Pakshi says, what has been established as Anavabodha is Karana for dukkha. So Anavabodha meaning Ajnana going away, Avidya Ajnana being taken away. Not only there is Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti, but because in our case, Atma itself is having Sukha Swarupa, meaning Atma is Sukha Swarupa, therefore Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti alone is not the Moksha Lakshana, but we also have Swarupa which is untainted anymore, and that itself will give Sukha. So Sukha Avir Bhakti is also there, which is Niratishya. So Niratishya Ananda Prapti is also possible in our case, which is not possible in others' cases. So now that was established here as Niratishya Ananda Apti Lakshanasya Purusharthasya Parisamapti Syad. Ityartha. So this the Purva Pakshi is raising a doubt. Bhavatu evam. Let it be so. Okay. In your case, you have Sukha Avir Bhava. Let it be so. But why is it not there in our case? Why would you say so? It has been established in a sense that para prema asparatvam is not there. So due to that, so the word which was used here, if you see, so nirupadika prema aspadatva asiddhi, that itself is badika for them for sukha prapti. Now Purva Pakshi is saying there are other means. He says, Bhavatu evam tathapi karma upasanadi pariharena vishishta adhikarina samyak darshane eva kutaha pravrittihi. Why do you insist that samyak darshana, in jnana alone, there should be or would be pravritti for vishishta adhikari? There are vishishta adhikaris for each sampradaya, for each prakriya, for each marga. Now you have karma and upasana also. So discounting karma and upasana, why would you say the Vishishta Adhikari for karma upasana would not get moksha, and in your case the Vishishta Adhikari would get moksha? So if moksha is the target, is the laksha, sadhya, it is possible from karma upasana also, through karma and upasana also. So samyak darshana jnana marga, in that alone eva kutaha pravritti, whereby you will say that I will create this grantha. So samyak darshanaya, yena samyak darshanaya, yena hetuna, because vishishta adhikari for samyak darshana is available and that will lead to moksha. But so is karma upasanadi available and vishishta adhikaris for karma upasanani are available. That can also lead to moksha. Then why should a particular person choose samyak darshana only, whereby yena samyak darshanaya prakarana arambha sambhava ityatah, whereby there is a possibility of creating such a grantha that you are creating. You can begin creating a grantha. Why? Samyak darshanaya tadarthi chaturthi. For you to have a claim that samyak darshana alone can lead to moksha, nothing else will lead to moksha, that is not proven really. Karma upasana also can lead to it. Therefore, you don't need to create another Grantha establishing Jnana as the Marga for Moksha because other Margas are available. That is the idea there. Ityataha. This is countered by Bhagavan Vartikakara by saying Ajnana Nivrittescha. In the Mula, Ajnana Nivritti. Ajnana Nivritti. Now, this is very interesting, okay? I mean, I have to talk about the other Paksha also. I had mentioned that there are three Tikas. One of the modern Tikas, the Holenersipur Swamiji, Swami Sachidananda Saraswati. So he is called SSS. Commonly, if you look online, SSS or SSSS, Shri Sachidananda, Swami Sachidanandendra Saraswati. So that Swamiji has written a Klesha Apaharyani. And their Sampradaya, what do they say? They say that Ajnana is not the Karana for Bandhana, but Adhyasa is Karana. Now, Anavabodha has been mentioned here. Anavabodha, Tasya Anavabodha Pidhanam. And if, see, they discount all Vyakhyanas. They say that even in Upanishad and Brahma Sutra, Gita, you should not read Vyakhyanas, Tikas basically. All these Vyakhanakaras, Vivarana Sampradaya, Bhamati Sampradaya, all these have, they say that, taken away the meaning in the Bhashya. That is their claim. Why? They say that Bhashya is sufficient. So they will end up calling their Prakriya as Shuddha Shankara Prakriya. And as I said earlier, our prayers are not lip service. Asmadacharya Paryantam means everything is Sampradaya, that is authentic. So that's why orthodoxy will not let you go wrong. The all the checks are there. Just like in in the software field, if you know the technology software field, open source will protect you. You don't know what the somebody is selling you a software or you are using some software for free. You don't know whether your data is protected. But with the open source software, there are multiple checks there. Others are watching over. The code is available to be verified. Similarly, here, Sampradaya orthodoxy cross-checks it. The Vidvat Sabha will cross-check it. And that has been the Sampradaya all along. And all the Granthas have gone through that scrutiny. And Bhagwan Sureshwaracharya or Padmapadacharya, all of these, they were there even when Shankaracharya was there. So Shankaracharya will have verified. He has verified all these Granthas. It has been created in his time. So he knows. Then further, the entire orthodoxy, Sampradaya is that. Samyak Pradiyate Yasmai. So that is the Sampradaya. It has been given, the knowledge has been given as it is there in the Mula, meaning Vedas, Shruti, as taught by Dakshinamurti. So that is the first Acharya. So this Sampradaya is protected there. The knowledge is protected. It is very thankless to say that, nobody understood, I got it. That is not fair. And here, why now? Okay, that is just the emotional part. Now you look at emotional or the respect part. Now you look at you look at it logically also. Anavabodha, Nai in Vyakarana is in negation. It is not negation only. Abhava, Abhavarthe Nai. It is not the only one. We have seen that 6 meanings. Now in this 6 meanings, this Anavabodha, Avabodha is considered as Jnana. Avabodha is Jnana. Bodha. Buddha Jnane. From that dhatu you get Avabodha, Avapurvaka, Buddha dhatu. So Anavabodha is Nai. So here also you will, just like in Ajnana and Avidya, here also you will ask, what is this Anavabodha? It is not absence of Avabodha. It is Virodharthe Nai again. Misunderstanding. The entire Sampradaya has been mentioned here. Adhyasa, Shobhanadhyasa, Ashobhanadhyasa, Ahangraha, Mamagraha, all that. What is that? Deha, Upadana, Ahangraha, Mamagraha. That is also Adhyasa. Jnanadhyasa, Arthadhyasa. Vishaya, Artha means Vishaya. Vishaya is also Adhyastha and Jnana also. So, Jnana is also Adhyastha. So when you see Sarpa instead of Rajju, there Rajju Vishaya is there. That is missed. And instead of Rajju Vishaya, you see Sarpa as Vishaya. That is the Artha, Padartha. So Sarpa as a Padartha, Artha is Adhyastha. Therefore it is Artha Adhyasa. And you get Sarpa Jnana also. I know the Sarpa outside. Therefore, that Jnana is also Adhyasa because Vastu is Rajju. You are seeing Sarpa. So there is a Jnana Adhyasa and Artha Adhyasa both. Now this entire Sampradaya of or Parampara of Adhyasa is the Bandha Karana. But what is the Mula Karana? Mula Karana has been said as Anavabodha Pidhanam, and there is nothing else mentioned here. Now, this Anavabodha cannot be in the meaning of Adhyasa, which is considered by the other party as saying the Karana. Everything, all of these have been said to be Adhyasa. Anavabodha, if it is Adhyasa, then what is the Karana for Anavabodha? That has not been mentioned. This Grantha would be incomplete. So Bhagwan Sureshwaracharya has not talked about anything beyond Anavabodha. So Anavabodha has to be Mula Karana. And then he says, Atha Tasya Atyanta Uchitto. Tasya Kasya Anavabodhasya. Anavabodha has to be removed. Now this Anavabodha is Bhava Padartha. Yat Kinchit Bhava Padartha Mithya. To which the other party may agree. But they say that Ajnana, there is nothing called Ajnana. Ajnana is Jnana Abhava, which is not the cause, they'll say, for this Anavabodha. And even if they say, it will, even if they deny that, then what is the Karana? For Anavabodha, what is the Karana? Anavabodha, you cannot say it is Anadi. If it is Anadi, then it has to be mentioned. Nowhere is it even mentioned. Ajnana has to be mentioned as Anadi. So this Anavabodha, if it is Adhyasa, that is not the Anadi Adhyasa. But Anavabodha here itself is in the meaning of Ajnana. Why? Because since there is nothing else mentioned here, Ataha Tasya Atyanta Uchitto, meaning Anavabodha Atyanta Anavabodha Uchitto Tasya. Anavabodhasya Atyanta Uchitto Ashesha Purushartha Samapti. Ajnana has to be removed. And that's why Anavabodha has to be removed. And then he says Ajnana Nivrittescha. So where is Ajnana mentioned? It has not been mentioned earlier. So Anavabodha has to be in the meaning of Ajnana. Otherwise it's Ajnana Nivrittehe cha Karanam. That will not make sense. So anybody who has some basic understanding can see constructs of the sentence, who has studied Purvamimamsa, how these are to be understood, Vyakarana, they can make sense out of this. Just by making a claim that, entire Sampradaya is wrong and Adhyasa is Karana, without any Mula Karana, that itself is Karana, wouldn't stand scrutiny at all. So Anavabodha is Pidhanam or Mula Karanam or Avarana, and that has to be Ataha Tasya Atyanta Uchitto Ashesha Purushartha Parisamaptihi. Therefore, this Tasya is Anavabodhasya, and Tasya here Ajnana word has been replacement for this Tasya, this Tat. So Ajnana Nivrittescha. How does Ajnana Nivritti take place? That has been mentioned. So Anavabodha is equal to Ajnana. That is how Sureshwaracharya means it. It is clear. There are other reasons also. Let's visit it since we are here before moving ahead in the Grantha, because this is a very crucial point. Ajnana is, if this Nai is Abhavarte, then Abhava cannot be Karana for anything. And here it has been clearly mentioned that as Ajnana Nivritti should take place for Moksha. If Ajnana Nivritti should take place, nobody wants Nivritti of Abhava. Abhava is already Nivritta. What is Abhava? Not there. If it is not there, then why do you want to remove it? Who says that I want to remove what is not there? Makes no sense. Has no meaning at all. Then Abhava, this Ajnana has been said to be Karana for Bandhana. If Abhava of Jnana can be Karana, then what answer will you give to Shunyavadi, who says that Shunya is Jagat Karana? There is no Ishvara. So what answer are you going to, how are you going to face them? Bhagavan Bhashyakara says that you can follow any darshana and still get some benefit. He says that even Tarkika's Abhava is not Shunya. Bhagavan Bhashyakara says that when he's refuting the Paksha of Bauddha, he says that you Bauddhas talk about Karana, Prapancha Karana as Shunya, meaning nothing. Nihilism. So nothing, how can nothing be Karana? So they bring in this Abhava also for Tarkikas. He says Tarkikas Abhava is a Padartha. It is an existent Padartha. There are 4 different Abhavas. You cannot categorize Abhava. But they are better than you because they consider Abhava as a Padartha. In Sapta Padartha, there are 7 Padarthas. Vaisheshikas, they consider out of 7 Padarthas, Abhava as one Padartha. It is not Shunya like you. So what answer are you going to give to Shunyavadi, where you do Nirakarana of Shunya as Karana? When you say Ajnana, which is Karana for Bandhana, be it Jiva Bandhana at an individual level. Let it be different from Maya, the way they consider, although there is no Sammati in Sampradaya. Sampradaya says Ajnana and Maya are in the same meaning. One is used in the Vyasti context, the other is used in the Samasti context. In Eka Jivavada, there is no Vyasti Samasti difference per se. So Ajnana, a single word, is used interchangeably with Maya in Drishti Srishtivada. Nonetheless, if Ajnana is Jagat Karana, that means Abhava, Ajnana being Abhava Arte, there nahi, being Abhava Arte, Jnana Abhava is Jagat Karana, then Shunya, Shunya is Jagat Karana. And how will you differentiate? Third point is, how will you differentiate between one Ajnana and another Ajnana? There is Ajnana of Atma, that is Jagat Karana, all right. But Ajnana of Ghata, Ajnana of Pata, Ajnana of Atma, so there Shashti there, Kasya Ajnanam. There is an apeksha of pratiyogi. There is an apeksha of vishaya. In jnana context, we will not say pratiyogi, let's say, we'll say vishaya, karma. Jna dhatu is sakarmaka. So jna, just like jnana has an apeksha of vishaya, kasmin vishaya ajnanam, kasya ajnanam. There shashti is what? Karmani shashti. Kasya ajnanam, brahmana ajnanam, brahma ajnanam. Similarly, brahmana ajnanam is brahma ajnanam. Brahma jnanam. So that Brahma jnanam is Karana. So Brahma jnana abhava you have to say. How will you differentiate Brahma jnana abhava and Ghata jnana abhava and Pata jnana abhava? You cannot differentiate between abhavas. And where abhava you don't agree that it is Tarkika's Padartha. There also will do the same Nirakarana. We tell Tarkikas that abhava cannot have a categorization. But Ajnana has a categorization. Kasya Ajnanam. So that third point, it will not work. Fourth, let's say hypothesis, hypothetically when you analyze. So hypothesis, it is called Abhyupagamavada. So I'll go along for a while to argue with the Purvapakshi. Okay, let's take this is possible and analyze. So the Siddhanti would ask, okay, Abhava, what kind of Abhava? Tarkika has 4 types of Abhava. Now, when you are analyzing you have to use the Tarkika process. Tarka has to be used. Bhagavan Bhashyakara uses everywhere there is a Panchami as a Hetu. That Hetu has a Vyapti hidden there. It has a Vyapti, it indicates a Vyapti. You may not make the Vyapti, but because in Bhagavan Bhashyakara's mind it is clear. If we don't understand it, then we have to make a Vyapti and understand what is the Paksha. So we have to use the Tarkika's process. What is the Paksha? What is the Hetu? What is the Paksha Dharmata there? What is the Vyapti? And then what is the Udharana? All this you have to use. So there is nothing wrong there. Tarka has established that process. We don't agree with the Tarka Darshana, where Parmanu is Jagat Karan, etc., and Padarthas and Abhava categories, but we do agree with their process of analysis. Just like we agree with the process of analysis, Pujita Vichara, called Mimamsa of Purva Mimamsakas, Karma Kandis. We apply the same analysis to Jnana Kanda also. That's why we are Uttara Mimamsakas, Vedantis. So now the question is to be asked, if Ajnana is or Anavabodha or Avidya, there the Nai is in the meaning of Abhava, then what kind of Abhava? They may, disagree. They may say we don't agree with Tarkika's Abhavas, Bhagavan Bhashyakara does not agree. Okay, that is true. But how are you going to put it on the table to other Darshanikas? Since you have brought it up. Bhagavan Bhashyakara didn't need to do it, he has done it. He has also, argued with Tarkikas, Pragabhava and all that. He has also mentioned Atyanta Abhava. So, Tarka has 4 Abhavas. Pragabhava, Pradhvamsa Abhava, Atyanta Abhava, and Anyonya Abhava. Anyonya Abhava is called as Bheda. So, what is Pragabhava? Before the Ghata is made, there is Pragabhava. So, what is Pragabhava really? What is the nature of Pragabhava? Before a particular Ghata is made, you will say Ghata Pragabhava is there. So that is there. Since when is it there? It is Anadi. It has always been there. Till the Ghata is created, Pragabhava will be there. So can this be Pragabhava? We'll come to that. So we'll leave the Pragabhava Paksha right now. Go to the Pradhvamsa. Pradhvamsa or Dhvamsa. So can it be Dhvamsa? So what is Dhvamsa? After the Ghata which is created, that goes away. So Pragabhava has no beginning, but it has an end. Pragabhava ends when the Ghata is made. Pradhvamsa Abhava is not there. It will begin. It has an Adi. It is not Anadi like Pragabhava, but Pradhvamsa will have a beginning when the Ghata is broken or destroyed. Then how long will the Dhvamsa be there? Dhvamsa will be there forever. So it is Ananta. Now, Anyonya Bhava. What is Anyonya Bhava? Bheda. What is the pratiti of that? Ghataha patona. Ghataha patona. Pataha ghatana. So that is the Anyonya Bhava. Ghata is not Pata, Pata is not Ghata. So where is this Anyonya Bhava staying? So you have an Anuyogi and a Pratiyogi for each Abhava. For Tarkika is the last Kasya Abhava. You cannot say Nasti. So famous example is what? In none of our rooms there is an elephant. So you have to explain. Nasti. Kim nasti? Atra nasti. Kim nasti? So you can't just get away by saying statement nasti. So nasti is what? Abhava. Kasya abhava will ask. There is a pratiyogi apeksha. So yasya abhava sa pratiyogi. If ghata abhava is mentioned, then ghata is pratiyogi. And where the abhava is there, that adhikarana will be called as anuyogi, or the abhava itself is called as anuyogi. So hasti abhava, hasti naha abhava. So hasti is pratiyogi. There is no elephant. Hasti is elephant. So there is no elephant in the room. Hasti abhava. Ghata is not there in the room. Ghata abhava. So there is a pratiyogi apeksha. This has to be for all of these abhavas. There is a pratiyogi apeksha. You cannot say something is not there. If I ask you some new word, so I cook up some new word and ask you what is, or in some other language that you don't know, is it there? To answer yes or no, you should know what the word means. If you don't know the padartha, how will you say whether it is there or not there? So what it means is that to say that there is abhava, you have to know the pratiyogi. This is a niyama. Tarkikas have made a very good process there. You cannot say, I don't agree with the Tarkikas abhavas, but you agree with the concept at least. Forget what they say. But can you say, you analyze your experience and say, if I ask you today, do you have, let's say, something, this thing, I cook up some word, what, Gugalulu. So Gugalulu, do you have Gugalulu? You will ask me, what is Gugalulu? No, I say, you tell me only in yes and no. Can you say? Can you give me a response as to, do you have Gugalulu? There is no meaning. Let's say I know some meaning, I make up some meaning, I call something as Gugalulu. You'll say, I can't say unless I know. How can I say yes or no? So to express the answer there, to answer whether there is a particular abhava, you have to know the pratiyogi. Okay, we'll come back to this point as to why pratiyogi is important in understanding this abhava here, this ajnana being in abhavartha, nai being in abhavartha. Now, it is not jnana abhava. That is the sampradaya, we have to be very clear. Now, this ajnana, let's just say that we did dhamsa and bheda. Now, there is the fourth abhava is what? Atyanta abhava. Now, what is atyanta abhava? Atyanta abhava is nitya for a tarkika. The sambandha is anitya. So what is ghata abhava? So ghata abhava bhutale ghato nasti. That is the atyanta abhava. It is neither pragabhava, meaning ghata is created. It is not that the ghata is being made. Where the ghata is being made, before that ghata is made, there is, in the same adhikarana, there is ghata pragabhava. Okay? And where it is broken, there you will have ghata dhvamsa or pradhvamsa abhava. Called dhvamsa also. Bheda is what? Ghata patono, pata ghatono. In which adhikarana will it be there? Ghata abhava will be there in pata, pata abhava will be there in ghata. So, none of these three are possible here. When you say atyanta abhava, ghataha atra nasti. Ghata is there, but that ghata has been taken away. So now you have ghata abhava here. What kind of abhava? Ghata is not being made here. So therefore there is no pragabhava here. In the room, ghata is not being made. So none of the rooms have ghata abhava because nobody hopefully is making ghata now. Unless you're a potter, for hobby or whatever. So there is no ghata broken hopefully. If it is not broken, then there is no ghata pradhvamsa also. Now in the room, do you have bheda? Ghata, so you in the room you don't have. In Ghata you may have Pata Bhava, and in Pata you have Ghata Bhava. So if you have Pata, in the Pata there will be Ghata Bhava. Which Abhava? Anyonya Bhava, Bheda. You'll say Ghata. Ghata Bheda is there in Pata. That is the Pratiti. What is the Prati of Anyonya Bhava? Ghataha, Patona, Pataha, Ghatana. So Pata is not Ghata. So in Pata there is Anyonya Bhava of Ghata. So none of these three. So what is Atyanta Abhava? So Ghataha Atra Nasti means what? Atyanta Abhava of Ghata. Atyanta Abhava does not mean that it will never be there. Like our Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti. It is not that. Tarkika's Atyanta Abhava means what? It may be elsewhere. Here it is not there. Ghata is there. Pratiyogi does exist. It is not here. That is Ghata Atyanta Abhava. It is Nitya. It is one. Atyanta Abhava. So when you say this Ghata is not there, now when it is brought in, the Sambandha with the Atyanta Abhava goes away. They consider Atyanta Abhava as Nitya, Laghava Tarka. So there is only one Atyanta Abhava and it is Nitya, always there. Even when the Ghata is there, Ghata Atyanta Abhava is also there. But there is no Sambandha of that Ghata with the Atyanta Abhava. That is the Tarka. Now you ask the Purva Pakshi, which Purva Pakshi? Who interprets the Ajnana, Vedanti only, but interprets the Ajnana as Abhavarte. Nahi. Jnanasya abhava ajnanam. That is his claim. You ask him which kind of abhava. So if he can't say dhvamsa. Why dhvamsa is nitya? Nitya meaning dhvamsa is ananta. So dhvamsa is ananta. There, if you analyze, there is a lot of analysis to be done. So when did it begin? So it will have to have a beginning. It has a beginning. Therefore, he'll also not agree that it is dhvamsa. Why? Because it will never go away. If it is never going to go away, it had an utpatti also. If it had utpatti, then without karana you cannot say how the dhvamsa came up. Because before the dhvamsa, ghata was there. So before the brahmajnana dhvamsa, what would be there? Brahmajnana. So if brahmajnana was there and it had a beginning in time, why did it begin? Why did ajnana begin? How did brahmajnana go away? So brahmajnana dhvamsa took place. What caused the brahmajnana dhvamsa? And brahmajnana being there and dhvamsa coming up means what? It means that there was moksha and now that moksha is gone. If that moksha is gone, then moksha will become anitya. Why will you even struggle for moksha? Therefore, the Purva Pakshi won't agree that ajnana is in the meaning of that. Nai is in the meaning of which abhava? He'll not agree that it is dhvamsa. Okay, it is not dhvamsa. Then, what about bheda? We say Bheda is okay. Why? If you say Bheda means something existence, right? Existence. So Pata has Ghata Abhava. Therefore, Pata is there. That Adhikarana is there. In that Abhava is there. He won't agree with that. If he agrees, then Ghata Bheda Pate Asti. Meaning Ghatasya Abhava Pate Asti. So if you say Ajnana is what? Abhava of Jnana. And it is there somewhere. Then he will have agreed with bhavartha. Bheda is bhavartha. It is not abhavartha. Okay. So he will not agree with the bheda also, meaning anyonya abhava. Will he say it is atyanta abhava? If he says it is atyanta abhava of jnana, brahma jnana atyanta abhava, that is nitya. Nitya, it will always be there. So you will never have moksha. It will never go away. That won't work. So what does he have to say? We'll ask him now. Only one option which is left for you is Pragabhava. Pragabhava, for a person to say it is Pragabhava, the problem is that Bhagwan Bhashyakara has refuted Pragabhava wholesale. He has refuted all four Abhavas. So the Purva Pakshi cannot agree. Unfortunately, the Purva Pakshi in his own Sanskrit work, he has said that Pragabhava eva astu. In Sanskrit he has said it. Pragabhava eva, Kidrsha Bhava, Pragabhava eva bhavatu. He said that. So, and to make a claim that Shuddha Shankara Prakriya is laughable. Why? Because Shuddha Shankara Prakriya cannot agree with Pragabhava. Pragabhava has been refuted. Pragabhava has another problem there. Pragabhava is anadi, all right. It will have an end. But Pragabhava, the way it is discussed by the Tarkika, you cannot make such claim. Pragabhava also has been refuted. Because Abhava itself cannot be categorized. Now Pragabhava, the technical problem with Pragabhava, let's say, okay, Bhagwan Bhashyakara has refuted, or they may say that it has not been refuted at all. We agree with that. Generally, his followers won't agree that with any of the abhavas, because they know Bhashya very well. They say that Bhashya has Bhashya Pankti very well. What the heart of Bhashyakara is, that can be known only by Vyakhyana. We'll come to that point anyway. So, Pragabhava, if you agree, which the followers may not agree, because many do not have Sanskrit Abdhyasa also, they have not seen the Mula of their own Guru. So, if you see the Mula, his own words is Pragabhava eva astu. Now, the technical problem with Pragabhava being accepted is what we saw earlier. Pratiyogi is needed. For everything, Pratiyogi, Jnana is needed. Pratiyogi is needed, Pratiyogi is there. They'll say Ajnana. What is the Pratiyogi of this Pragabhava of Jnana? They'll say Jnana is Brahma Jnana. Okay. You know there is a Pratiyogi. They'll say there is a Pratiyogi, Brahma Jnana. And Ajnana is what? Brahma Jnana, Jnanasya Pragabhavaha. Pratiyogi is Brahma Jnanam. Very good. Now we'll say this Pratiyogi has to be known. Ghata being Pratiyogi is not the answer that the Tarkika is saying when he says every Abhava, including Pragabhava, as a Pratiyogi. He says that Pratiyogi is Prasiddha, should be Prasiddha, you should know the Pratiyogi. You cannot say that Ghata, Pragabhava is here unless you know that Ghata is being made. Ghata is going to come up. You should know what the Ghata is. So if you know the Ghata, then alone you can say that Pragabhava is there. So now if Brahma Jnana is Pratiyogi, then you should have Brahma Jnana. If you have Brahma Jnana, then only you can say that there is a Pratiyogi of Brahma Jnana in the form of Brahma Jnana, and then you know that Pratiyogi, and then you can make a claim that there is Pragabhava of that Brahma Jnana in me. Now you tell me, if you have Brahma Jnana, it is not like Ghata. If knowing Ghata, knowing Ghata, you can say that there is Pragabhava of Ghata here. But Brahma Jnana itself being Pratiyogi, Jnana itself being Pratiyogi, if you know that's Brahma has Pratiyogi, if you know Brahma, sorry, I said Brahma Jnana has Pratiyogi, Brahma has Pratiyogi. I'm sorry, Brahma has Pratiyogi. So, Jnanasya Abhava, Kasya Abhava Jnanasya. Jnanasya Pratiyogi, which is the Ajnana Pratiyogi there, Abhava Pratiyogi there. The Pratiyogi is Brahma. So, you should know Brahma to say that there is Brahma Jnana Pragabhava here. If you know Brahma, meaning you have Brahma Jnana, then there won't be Ajnana. How can you say that there is Ajnana also and I know Brahma also? Knowing Brahma and Ajnana of Brahma are absolutely contradictory to each other. So you'll already have Mukti. Then where is the Pragabhava? Ajnana itself is not possible if you know the Brahma, Pratiyogi. So this is a technical flaw which nobody seems to have analyzed there. Just some blind followers and I don't know why, but there is a severe hate in Vyakhyanas. They have no study of Vyakhyanas. Absolutely, they have not even seen it to make a claim. So somebody made a claim, they follow that, they keep on, arguing, if you see. But all this has to be set aside because there are too many problems with this theory. Okay, sadhutvam is not denied. The guru who made this prakriya may be a sadhu, but maybe mukta also, Brahmajnani, we don't have any arguments there. But how does it benefit me? If they have created a grantha, how does it benefit me? And see, there is another pitfall. See how bad the logic should be of these people, that they say that no Vyakhyana should be studied, only Bhashya should be studied. And their guru who made this claim went ahead and wrote a Vyakhyana. Wrote set of books, not only Vyakhyana. He himself has written Vyakhyana. He has written a Vyakhyana on Naishkarmyasiddhi. He has written what Bhagavan Bhashyakara means many places. So what is that? It is a Vyakhyana. So if you say don't follow any Vyakhyanas, follow Shuddha Shankara Prakriya, you do Anuvada and just stay mum. Even Anuvada you should not be doing, because in Anuvada, in translation, there is a lot of meaning lost. So how can you say Shuddha Shankara Prakriya and then write a Vyakhyana and say, oh, don't study Vyakhyana Karas, they are all wrong. It's laughable, really. Now, these are the 4 types of abhavas of the Tarkika. Now you ask him, when he says that I don't agree with Tarkikas and they have not studied their Mula Grantha, their Guru's Mula Grantha, where the Guru himself has said The author himself has said that pragabhava eva astu. If they, let's say, they don't know, they don't care, and they say no, it is abhava, samanya abhava. What abhava? Samanya abhava. No, abhava is very prasiddha. We don't need to go in Tarkika's categorization. So ghata abhava, ghata abhava, what samanya abhava? If it is samanya abhava, samanya, what does samanya abhava means? Abhava of anything and everything. That is samanya abhava. Nothing is there. So you'll never have that situation. Something will always be there. So if you look at it, samanya abhava, nobody talks about samanya abhava. Samanya abhava means everything being missing. How is that possible? If they say Vishishta Abhava, if we say Vishishta Abhava, then Vishishta Abhava Nirakarana can be done by anything. Just like Samanya means absence of everything, here Vishishta means something or the other will take away. So Ghatajnana will be Moksha Karana, Patajnana will become Moksha Karana. Laughable. Those who are interested and understand Hindi, go through. I'll show you a section. There's an analysis done here. Somewhere there is a not here, somewhere in the Hindi, go, whatever we have done, go through a few pages there, you'll find, and let me just see if I can find. Pidanam. Okay. Here, see, कुछ आधुनिक व्याख्याता संप्रदाय सिद्ध अज्ञान स्वरूप का प्रत्याख्यान कर अनवबोधो नाम अज्ञानम ज्ञान अभाव एव. ये जो है ना, यहां से देख लीजिए. I mean, from here, I switch to Hindi, sorry. So check these two pages if those who are interested.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, just have a look to see what I meant. It is covered there. So if you're interested, read that Paksha. See, we don't have any dvesha towards anyone. The reason I'm bringing this up is because this is important for a sadhaka who has more interest to study jnana, more and more analysis, tika, etc. You should not give up tika because somebody else says that. And this is, I mean, I'm very convinced with the fact that that's why, as much as possible, when possible, anything that I teach with tika, and when possible, look at tippana also. The reason is this: if mula only study of something in sampradaya, what does the study mean? What is the study of mantra or shloka? If it is just understanding the meaning of the shloka and the mantra, if that is called a study, then that study has been done by other sampradayas also. But they have landed on a different meaning. They have become Dvaitis. Dvaitis, Vishishta Dvaitis, Bheda Bhedavadins, Shuddha Dvaitins, so many. They have added Visheshana to Advaita. Advaita cannot take any Visheshana. That's why it is Kevala. Advaita is Kevala. That's why we have to call our Advaita as Kevala Advaita. There is only Advaita, but we have to say only Advaita, Kevala Advaita. Why? Because others have added flavor. Advaita also, what Advaita? This add Visheshana. How can it take Visheshana? How can it take Visheshana? Advaita cannot take any Visheshana. That Visheshana is Dvitiya. Visheshana, what it means, that Padartha is Dvitiya. You cannot say Vishishta Advaita. You cannot have Vishishta there, Visheshana there to make it Vishishta. Advaita cannot become Vishishta. Never, ever. Kevala only, always Kevala. So calling it Advaita, it's an oxymoron. It's a contradiction in terms. You put it together, you make some claim, does not work. So this you have to know. Therefore, the study of Mula is not the study of Mula. Study of Mula is through the Bhashya Sampradaya. In every Sampradaya, they let them call them some Sampradaya. It's okay. But in Advaita Sampradaya, our study is Bhashya study. Mula study is study of Bhashya. You understand the meaning of Mula through the Bhashya. That is the study of the Mula, not the study of Bhashya. People who say, I have studied Bhashya, please think over the Bhashya study. How will you do when the Mula study is through the Bhashya? If the Mula study is through the Bhashya, Bhashya study has to be through the Vyakhyana, Tika. So Bhashya study is really studying the Tika. Tika explains, Tika treats Bhashya with that respect that it is Sarvotomukha like Sutra. Sutra Bhuta, every word in, that's why Bhagavan Bhashyakara's Bhashya is what? Prasanna Gambhira. Just like Mahabhashya. Bhagavan Bhashyakara follows the style of Mahabhashya on Vyakarana. So that same Shaili, Prasanna and Gambhira. So each word is like treated as Sutra, and wherever needed, multiple meanings are possible without contradicting the Advaita Tattva. That is the kala of the of jnana and art also of the Vyakhyanakaras. How can you set them aside? So please have, I mean, I'm just saying that's why we do Mangalacharana of the Tika also and study the Tika, Tippana if it is there, we do Mangalacharana. Why? Because it is all, they have no, claim to fame to make. What jnana they have, they are sharing. So we are getting that benefit. We can't be so thankless that saying that all this is not needed. They are all, set them aside. They have ruined the sampradaya. All this is, all these bogus claims. You'll see, I have not used such rude words here. They use absolute rude words towards the Vyakhyanakaras. And they'll even quote someone else. Bhamatikara uses rude words towards, crude words also towards Vivaranakara. Sampradaya, I mean, not Bhamatikara, but there's Sampradaya there. And then in Vivarana Sampradaya, they have, really insulting, crude words for Bhamati Paksha. Okay, let them have. That is not the Tatparya. It is a Shaili in Tarka to insult the other. That is not the Tatparya. In the language you insult the others, it's sarcasm or insult also directly. That is not the Tatparya. Otherwise, I've used this in the other Patha, in Vichar Sagar, I've said this, but follow this. Why should you not focus on insult and bad words used towards each other in the Vyakhya? That is not the Tatparya. It may be distasteful, I agree. But so is it distasteful for a teacher to call the school children in India, at least. Outside it may not be so. I don't know. But in India, even in today's era, it may not be possible. But in our generation, teachers would call, yeah, donkey. Don't you understand? Donkey or gada, whatever you. So that is not the Tatparya. Parents also call. Murkha, or you don't understand. How many times you don't understand little donkey. That is not the Tatparya. It is for your benefit. So to bring out the real meaning, there is some argument which should be discounted. All the insulting words should be set aside. You focus on the Tatparya. Just like you do with the Sara of Vedanta. So this is how we should appreciate the, sampradaya and get it to our benefit. Understand for our benefit. Study is not to show off or anything, it's for our benefit. So ajnana is yatkinchit bhava padartha. That is why nirakarana is possible. Nobody does nirakarana of abhava. Nobody has an expectancy also. So look at this. Anavabodha is ajnana. So we have established that Anavabodha is ajnana because Mulakara himself says, it is not the Vyakhyana. Mulakara himself says that Anavabodha is karana for samsara, and if that is adhyasa, then you will not have ajnana nivrittehe word there. Ajnana nivritti word is sitting right there. Therefore, ajnana nivritti means tasya atyanta uchchitta and tasya kasya anavabodhasya. Therefore, ajnana nivritti is equal to anavabodha nivritti, which means anavabodha is equal to ajnana. Anavabodha does not mean adhyasa here, it means ajnana, and it does not mean non-understanding or ignorance literally. It does not mean abhava, it means virodharthe nahi there. Okay. So further, ajnana nivrittescha what? Ajnana nivrittescha samyak jnana swarupalabha matra hetutvat tad upadanam. So samyak jnana alone can take away ajnana. That has been the claim. That is the virodhartha there. You can see virodhartha clearly in the mula. Samyak jnana takes away ajnana. Ajnana cannot be non-existence. If it is non-existence, then samyak jnana does not counter it. And samyak jnana of what? Brahma, Atma. And that is what? Swarupa, your Swarupa. So samyak jnana swarupa labha matra hetutva. Samyak jnana, how does it work? It takes away all misunderstandings, mishrita understanding, that I am mixed up with this, I am mixed up with that, sharira, ahankaradi. And having taken away all of that, it becomes, that is the karana, tadupadanam. Samyak jnana swarupa labha matra hetutvat ajnana nivrittehe upadanam. It is the karana for ajnana nivritti. That alone is the hetu. Tikakara says samyak. Now there are these words samyak. See, look at the beauty of the tika. Each word is analyzed. How will you get that meaning? Why? See, in tarka, each word that has been used has to be analyzed. You have to understand what is avyapti, ativyapti, etc. Why such words have been used to make lakshana. Pariksha is done. Name is given first, then lakshana is given definition of what that word padartha means. 7 padarthas and categorization, and then you do pariksha whether the lakshana is right, whether this word, additional word is needed, what will happen if it is not there. It's called as padakritya. So here, Mulakara uses the Mulakara word, uses the word Samyak Jnana Swarupa Labha Matra Hetutvat. So many words. Why? He could have said Samyak Jnana Matra Hetutvat. Why did he say or Jnana Hetutvat? Why did he say Samyak? Why did he say Swarupa? All of this. So it is analyzed in the Tika. Samyak Grahanena, Swarupa Labha Grahanena, Matra Padena. All these 3 words are analyzed. सम्यग्रहणेन उपासना ज्ञानम व्यावर्तयति. व्यावर्तयति. भगवान सुरेश्वराचार्य किं करोति? सम्यग्रहणेन उपासना ज्ञानम व्यावर्तयति. If he had only said jnana, jnana swarupa labha matra hetu jnana. So if he had not given this visheshana samyak to jnana, then jnana is a word used for upasana also. Vidya. Vidya can mean upasana also. But upasana is not the karana for ajnana nivritti. Because upasana is also what? When you do upasana, you are doing it as per the vidhi. Do it in this manner. That is all ajnana karya. It is telling you as a karta, upasaka you are. Upasya is different from you. You do this upasana where the upasana is different from you. Upasya devata is different from you, and you as an upasaka are different from these two. So there is a triputi bheda, which is ajnana karya. To take away that, the same upasana won't work. It can give you chitta shuddhi ekagrata. Ekagrata it can give you, but it cannot give you ajnana nivritti. It itself is ajnana karya. So here, samyak jnanena, samyak grahanena, upasana jnanam vyavarteti. Swarupa labha grahanena jnana abhyasa, continuously abhyasa. In Vyakarana you have abhyasa karya. Ubhe abhyastam, puru abhyasa, ubhe abhyastam. So these are the Vyakarana sutras where you, after dvitva, so doing something again and again and again is called abhyasa. So that is also what jnana abhyasa can also mean. If you, jnana abhyasa, you do something again and again and again, that will not lead to swarupa labha. Swarupa labha, you are already there. If you are already there, you cannot gain something by doing abhyasa. If I do it again and again, someday I'll see, I'll get Atma. You can't get Atma, you are the Atma. So Swarupa Labha, when you say, then Jnana Abhyasa meaning is taken away. Matra Padenecha Karma Apeksham. Matra Pada. Matra, only Jnana. Only Jnana. Why only Jnana? Because there are Samuchayavadis sitting there. They were also Vedantis earlier. They say, no, karma and this thing, Jnana, you do together. Jnana and karma you put together. Bhagavan Bhashyakara has said that jnana and karma cannot go together. Why? Here, the udharana he gives, comparison, he says that it is like equivalent to riding 2 horses which are running in opposite direction. At the same time you are riding. Not possible. Why such a contrasting example? What appears to be contrasting? Why? Because karma, just like upasana, karma is to get the phala. That phala is separate from you. Here, Swarupa Labha also means that your own attainment, praptasya prapti. For karma, you have karaka bheda. I am the karta. To do any karma, I need to be a karta. So, kartru karaka is there. Then, adhikarana, let's say karma, I am doing Vaidika karma. I need adhikarana agni, in which I will put the this thing, ghee, etc., ghruta, etc., adya. So there, adhikarana bheda is there. And what I am going to offer, that will become karma. So karma karaka, adhikarana, and then karma karaka. 3 karakas. Then to which devata I am offering? Indraya swaha, Indraya idam namama. So Indra devata is separate from me. So sampradana karaka is separate from me. So 4th sampradana karaka. Then Apadana also, from where it is going to come, that all that is needed. So all karaka bhedas are there. Karaka bhedas means dvaita is there. Dvaita is the basis to do karma. Whereas Advaita Jnana says what? You are not the karta. You are the Jnana which says you are not the karta, and karma which says you are the karta. There is sakshat virodha. In sadhana there is virodha. In swarupa there is virodha. In phala there is virodha. One gives bandhana, samsara, karma. Karma may give you swarga gati. So that karma is what? Is going to give you swargagati and punarjanma. Therefore, it is keeping you in sansara. Whereas jnana is releasing you from sansara. The moksha from everything is the phala of jnana. So phala bheda is also there. Phala virodha is there, not bheda. Virodha is there. Karaka and akaraka, there is a virodha. Kartrutvam, akartrutvam, bhoktrutvam, abhoktrutvam. This is what is, the basis for karma. And jnana tells you, you are not a karta, you are not a bhokta. Swarupa bheda is there. So, in all aspects, there is virodha between karma and jnana. They cannot go together. They cannot. Asambhava. Asambhava dosha is there. So, samyak granena upasana jnanam vyavartayati. Swarupa labha granena jnanabhyasam vyavartayati. That's the anvaya there. Matra padena cha karma apeksham vyavartayati. Tad evam upayantara pariharena. What is upayantara? Karma upasanadi pariharena. Why did you do that? He says, this is the reason. Tad evam upayantara pariharena adhikarena samyak jnana. This kakara should be gakara here. The sandhi is wrong. Samyak jnana upadanam eva sambhavati ityartha. So samyak jnana alone can take away ajnana. There is nothing else. Neither upasana, nor karma, nor abhyasa. None of these jnana abhyasa can take away ajnana. Therefore, tadevam upayantara pariharena, discounting all other upayas, adhikarinaha, for the adhikari, vishishta adhikari, what is the upadana, what is the karana for ajnana nivrutti? Samyajnana. Samyajnana upadanam eva sambhavati. That is the only possibility. Ityartha. Yadyapi, now he says yadyapi samyajnanam upadanam. Same thing here, kakar, instead of kakara, gakara. And they are not separate padas. It is a single pada, single word. Yadyapi samyak jnana upadanam. Even though samyak jnana is the karana for ajnana nivrutti, tathapi tasya pramanantarad api upapattehe vedanta prakranadishu tadarthina kuto niyamena pravritti ityatah. Oh, you just said it. You have not, you have not explained it. Why? Why? Just saying it that, okay, in the Mula there is a statement that Samyak Jnana will lead to Ajnana Nivritti. But the question is not what is the, what in your Sampradaya, what is the Karana for Ajnana Nivritti? That is not the question. The question is moksha, meaning ajnana, not only ajnana nivritti. In your case, there may be ajnana nivritti as leading to moksha. That ajnana nivritti is possible by jnana. All that is okay. In your sampradaya, says the Purva Pakshi. But you have not explained. The question is why? Why only your marga? Why not others? That you have not explained. You have just made a statement, right? How will you justify it? You have to justify it. So he says, Yadyapi samyak jnana upadanam. Let it be so. Tathapi, that samyak jnana upadana means let it be karana for ajnana nivritti and moksha. Tathapi tasya pramanantarad api upapattehe. That moksha is also possible through another pramana. There are many pramanas for jnana also. Jnana also is possible through other pramana if that is the claim. Api upapattehe. Another pramana can also lead to moksha. Then Vedanta Prakranadishu Tadarthina Kuto Niyamena Pravrutti. Why do you say that in Vedanta Prakrana, there should be Pravrutti of the Adhikari? They should study this Grantha and you will create such Grantha for them. Why will there be Pravrutti whereby this Grantha would be possible? Ityataha Ashesha iti. So Mulakara says Ashesha Anartha Hetu Atma Anavabodha Vishayasya cha Anagamika Pratyakshadi Laukika Pramana Avishayatvat. अविषयत्वात् किं वेदांत आगम वाक्यादेव सम्यक ज्ञानम. Last sentence before the he gets to the Mangalacharana shloka. Then there's an introduction to the shloka. So he says Vedanta agama vakyad eva samyak jnanam. The samyak jnana cannot be possible through other means. Samyak jnanena moksha, samyak jnanena ajnana nivrittihi. Samyak jnana cannot be possible by any other means. That you can't just say that, oh, I don't need Vedas, I don't need Upanishads, I don't need these granthas, prakarana granthas, Shruti Smriti Purana ityadi. There are many other means. Someday Atma will become Pratyaksha. I'll meditate upon this. Yogis do it. I'll meditate upon it. I'll inquire. I'll do self-inquiry without any basis. I'll inquire. None of this will work. Shruti is the only pramana. How so? So here he says Vedanta. I'll just take 2 more minutes. So he says Ashesha Anartha Hetu Atma Anavabodha. Atma Anavabodha is Atma Ajnana. We have established that. So Atma Ajnana, Atma Swarupa Ajnana, what is my Swarupa? That Ajnana is the cause for Ashesha, complete Anartha, all afflictions, all adversities. For all adversities, what is the cause? Atma Anavabodha, Atma Ajnanam. Ajnana is the Karana. And Ashesha Anartha Hetu Atma Anavabodha Vishayasya. That Vishaya is what? We need Vishaya, Pratiyogi. What we saw as Pratiyogi. So what is the Vishaya? Brahma. Brahma is the Vishaya for Ajnana. Now this Ajnana, Vishaya being Brahma, if that Brahma can be known through other means, Atma, Brahma Atma can be known through other means, then we'll agree, says the Siddhanti. So you tell me what is the means. Siddhanti says, Nacha, this Ashesha Anartha Hetu Atma Anavabodha Vishayasya cha Anagamika means, other means, pramanas will not work. Anagamika Pratyakshadi Laukika Pramana Avishayatvat. This Brahmatma is not the Vishaya, Avishaya. It is Avishaya, not a Vishaya. For what? For Pramanas. Which Pramanas? Laukika Pramanas. Samasas you always analyze from the reverse. So the Vishayasya Avishayatvat. The Ajnana Vishaya is Brahmatma. That Brahmatma is Avishaya for Laukika Pramanas. Like what? Pratyakshadi. Like Pratyaksha, Anumana ityadi. Out of the 6 Pramanas, Shabda Pramana alone will work. For the Tarkikas, other 3 Pramanas. So Pratyaksha Atma, Brahmatma will never become Pratyaksha. It is you. It will never become Indriya Pratyaksha. It will never be Antakarana Pratyaksha also it can never become. It is you. How will you become Pratyaksha to yourself? You are already Pratyaksha. You are already Aparoksha. Pratyaksha means you are already Aparoksha. Through the Indriyas, you see Ghatapatadi Prapancha. You want to make Atma yourself. I want to see through the Indriyas. Not possible. It is like saying, I want to see my own eyes with my own eyes. You can't. You have to use a mirror. The mirror is Shastra for your Atma. For you, for your Swarupa, mirror is Atma. You cannot, just like eye cannot be seen with the same eye. You have to use the other means. And the only means available is a mirror to see your eye. Similarly, to see I, not E-Y, E-I, but I, capital I letter, I, Aham. To see the Aham Atma Swarupa, Shastra is the Pramana. See in the sense to know. There is no, that Darshana is not like it will become Pratyaksha someday. You cannot, this subject cannot objectify himself. Not possible. You cannot walk on your own shoulders. Not possible. So Pratyakshadi and Anumanadi, why won't it be possible? He says Pratyaksha is the basis for Anumana. Let's say Parvato Vanniman Dhumavatvat. You make the claim, Tarkika established this Anumana. Simple example, the mountain is on fire. Mountain has fire. Why? Because of smoke. Their Pratyaksha Pramana is not working for fire, but for Dhuma you need, for smoke. Unless you see the smoke, Pratyaksha, unless the Dhuma becomes Pratyaksha to you, how can you use the vyapti and apply it here, that there has to be fire. Why? Yatra yatra dhuma tatra tatra vannihi. Therefore, parvato vanniman. Why? Because dhuma is pratyaksha for me. Dhuma has to be pratyaksha. Then you can use that linga indicator and then say that, yes, I have a vyapti. So since the dhuma is there, there has to be fire. Mountain has fire, even if you don't see fire. So if you make such a claim, on what basis will you have your anumana here? Atma is not pratyaksha. Atma cannot be anumana vishya because you cannot have any pratyaksha as a linga leading to Atma. And therefore what? The Mula Pankti is over as to what? Therefore Vedanta Agama. Agama is Shruti. Vedanta. Veda Vedana Manta Nishchaya Upanishad. That Jnana, Vedanta Janya Jnana alone, that is the Vakya, Shabda Pramana. Vakyadeva Samyak Jnanam, Mahavakyadeva Samyak Jnanam. And Samyak Jnana will take away Ajnana and the entire parampara leading to Dukkha. So we'll look at the Tika for this in the next patha and begin with the Mula Shloka proper. Upodghata will be over in the next patha. यत् साक्षात् सच्चिदानंदं प्रत्यगद्वयमक्रियं तन्नमामि नृसिंहस्य योगी गम्यं परम पदम. Namaste. Any questions? Yeah, Sundaramaji.
Yeah. Swamiji, this Atma is our Swarupa. That being the case, how come Atma and Ajnanam coexist? Because Atma is a light and Ajnanam is referred to darkness. So
Yes,
it looks
that's
like
a good question. That's a good question. So in Adhyas Bhasha, Bhagavan Bhashyakara says, Tamas, the thing, Tamah Prakashavad Viruddha Swabhavayoho. He says, Mithya Bhavitum Arhyati. This coexistence is not possible, should not be possible, but it is possible. So now, how it is possible? For this, the Virodha is not between the Prakasha Swarupa Atma and Tamas Swarupa Ajnana. There is no Virodha there. Why there is no Virodha? You look at your Anubhava. Ajnana is also lit up. You know that I don't know. If this patha, if I ask you, did you understand this patha? What do you say? Yes, I understood.
Yeah.
How? Jnana, you have jnana, you know. Pratyaksha to you. Sakshi Bhasya. You didn't understand. That ajnana is also lit up by you. Now this Satchidananda Atma, its Swarupa is Sat, Chit and Ananda. Sat does not have Virodha with Ajnana. Ajnana yatkinchit bhava padartha, meaning not abhava. Tatparya is what? It is not abhava. Ajnana is there. This Ajnana being there, Ajnana gets Satta also from this Atma. Why Satta? Every Satta. When you say Satchidananda Atma, Sat means what? Anywhere there is Sat, that is Atma Sat. Atma Satta. Any Satta is Atma Satta. So Ajnana Satta is also Atma Satta. There is no Virodha there. Ajnana Satta is Atma Satta. Right?
So we can say Atma is the revealer of Ajnana.
Yes, yes. Atma is revealer of Ajnana also. So, see, where is the Virodha? Virodha is not between Swarupa Jnana, Atma Swarupa Jnana and Ajnana of that Swarupa. There is no Virodha.
Okay.
In fact, it is Adhikarana. In the same locus it is there. Brahma Jnana Swarupa, that is the Adhikarana. Adhikarana for Ajnana to be there, which we saw there, Vishaya. The Vishaya, and we saw in the earlier patha that Vishaya as well as the Vishaya Bhagini and it is the Ajnana Vishaya also and Adhikarana also. Ashraya. Ashraya and Vishaya. Then the Sat, Chit. Chit is Jnana. So that Jnana has no Virodha with Ajnana. So the Virodha between Jnana and Ajnana is not the Virodha between the Swarupa Jnana, Chaitanya and Ajnana. Then where is the Virodha? The Virodha is the Vritti Rupa Jnana. The Brahma Vritti. See, Ghatakara Vritti. You have studied Vedanta Paribhasha. In any Vedanta, how do you get Ghata Jnana? Ghata Vritti takes place. All the Prakriya Indriya goes out. But when the Ghatakara Vritti takes place, you say Ghatam Aham Janami. I am Ghata. Not Ghatam Aham Janami. I am Ghata. So ayam ghataha, that jnana takes place with ghatakara vritti. Similarly, aham brahma jnana will take place through brahmakara vritti. Whatever is the akara, the akara is a word used which is paribhashika, does not have to have a form as to some kind of a shape. It is not in the meaning of shape. Akara, shabda also has an akara, rupakara, shabdakara, rasakara. This is the antakarana to explain that it is in keeping with that. Now the issue is this jnana brahmakara vritti and the brahma ajnana, they have virodha.
Yes, yes.
So virodha, they have
Understood.
virodha.
Understood.
Okay, they
Yeah.
cannot coexist. They cannot
Ah.
coexist. Now, there is also some coexistence there. I know little, but not completely. So the jnana is not there, you can say, but you can say little jnana is there, it is not sampurna. That is also possible. So in your same example, think about this. When you say tama and prakasha have virodha, you cannot say that there is complete darkness when there is light, all right, but can you not say there is little, when there's a you light up, let's say there, there's a power cut, you don't have all your lights on, but you have some emergency lights on, but is
Ah.
there darkness or not? There is
Yeah.
still some darkness. You say
Yes,
light
yes.
is there, you cannot say light isn't there. You can't say darkness is not there, because darkness is there.
Ah.
So even when the light is there, if it will had, if the light had sakshat virodha with darkness, the way we think it is, they cannot coexist. They do coexist. The virodha is
Okay.
there. Whoever is stronger wins. If you have strong light, very bright light, it will take away entire darkness. But if you have dim light, the darkness will rule over. That's why we don't agree with the other darshanikas who say that this is a good example you brought up. In Ajnana, you have to think it is not the abhava of prakasha. Tamas we don't agree with.
Ah.
Purvamimamsakas and Uttarmimamsakas says tamas is yat kinchit bhava padartha. It's a padartha. Tarkika does not categorize tamas as padartha. He says it is prakasha abhava. Prakasha
Ah.
abhava. We don't agree. Because this example proves there can be tamas. If prakasha abhava, little prakasha is there, why doesn't I can have I can cut all my electricity bills. I can just have one LED bulb, one small LED, lamp, and every darkness will go away. It does not go away. There is virodha. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
the answer there.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Yogi ji, you have a question?
Yes, Swamiji, you told that self-inquiry must be done on the basis of Vedanta.
Hmm.
So, but what about Raman Maharshi? His self-inquiry is very famous.
Yes, his self-inquiry is very famous. Did he do self-inquiry and get jnana, moksha, or did he get it without that? I am also a Ramana Maharshi Bhakta. Ramana Maharshi did not do self-inquiry when he had that experience of, that the body dying. If any of us have that experience, we are welcome to use that. In fact, he himself has said that in earlier Janma, he was a Rishi. One of these. So, Jnana is not limited to this Janma. Bhagavan Krishna says, Nahi kalyana krit kashit durgatin tata gacchati. Jnana continues. Sanskaras continue. Jnana, ajnana, all sanskaras continue across Janmas. They manifest. So, Ramana Maharshi got this jnana because the pratibandha to that jnana went away. Moksha is possible only when the jnana becomes sthira. This jnana was not sthira in the earlier janma. It became sthira at particular this thing. Why? If we all get such jnana, then it should happen at that age 10 or whatever, whenever it happened, age 15 or whatever. Does it happen for everyone? It doesn't. So without that, how did it happen? Because Purva Sanskara, Purva Jnana is there. Shravana was there, but then there was Bhadaka. So Sampradaya, there are Upanishad examples also. In Garbha itself, somebody got Jnana. Shukadeva, Vamadeva.
Hmm.
So why not, why do we need to take birth and studies or follow any darshanas? Why don't we all get jnana in Garbha? How did he get in Garbha? So we can also ask in Garbha jnana is possible. Why do we need to, come out of the, be born of our mother, and why should we take Janma? Hey, do we ask such questions? We don't. Why? Because in Garbha, how did he get jnana? Something should be the cause, and that cause is jnana alone. In earlier janma, it was there. The pratibandha was there. Prarabdha shesha was there in the form of garbhavasa dukkha. That dukkha took away badaka for jnana to become sthira, and then that jnana was freeing. Jnana alone is cause. We have seen, see, ajnana virodha. Now this jnana has to come from Upanishad. Why? Because this jnana is of the form of what? You are that Paramatma. That is the form of jnana. Jnana cannot be. See, self-inquiry is what does. See, I'll ask you, self-inquiry. Does self-inquiry include inquiry of others?
No,
Question to you. Then how
no,
are you going to do nirakarana of others that they are mithya? Now, let's say I do self-inquiry. Let's follow that. See, Ramana Maharshi, if you analyze, almost never in any of his works, he'll say that you are Brahma. Never does he say. He says you inquire who you are. It is a Twampada Vichara, not Tattvamasi Vichara. It is Twampada Vichara, which is definitely needed. This Grantha also primarily focuses on Twampada Vichara. That does not give moksha. You are a yogi. Yoga Shastra does not give moksha. Sutra
yes,
can be interpreted to have the meaning of moksha. Why Advaita interpretation is there in the Sutra also. There are Advaita interpretations of Yoga Sutras also. So Sutra we do not say, but the Yoga Sampradaya where Ashtanga Yoga leading to Samadhi, that Samadhi, let's say you got Samadhi. Let's say I got Samadhi. Let's say Sundar Ramanji got Samadhi. Let's say three of us got Samadhi. You, and I'm comparing this with self-inquiry. You know your Swarupa as Atma. Let's say in yoga also Samadhi gives you anubhava of Atma. They'll say call it Kaivalya Anubhava. You are Atma separate from the body, mind, sense complex. The way Sankhya explained the theory, yoga gives you conviction. Okay, Anubhava. But this Atma Sakshatkara, so to say, for the lack of better words, will it do Nirakarana of my Samadhi experience telling me that I am also Atma? Satchidananda Atma, you are Satchidananda Atma, Sundar Ramanji is Satchidananda. There are three different Atmas, and as many Jivas are there, so many Atmas are there. How will you know Eka Atma, which is Ananta? Because uh, what is the Bandha Karana? One of the Bandha is what? Somebody, see whether the body is different from me, somebody's body or some Ghatapatadi, gold, whatever I have Akanksha towards, Raga Dvesha is possible. It has been established in the Mula. That's why Dvaitasya hi. Dvaita, as long as Dvaita is there, Dvaita Nivrutti does not take place. There is always possibility for Raga Dvesha to come up. Dvaita becomes Karana for Shobhana Adhyasa, Ashobhana Adhyasa. So if I remain separate from you, Sundar Ramanji remains separate from you, Ghatapatadi, Prapancha remains separate from you, there is always a samskara which will tell you that you want this dhana or you don't want this. Let's say you like someone, you do not like someone. So sampradaya will continue. Samsara sampradaya parampara continues. Moksha is not possible. Is it making sense? So self-inquiry
जी,
also, when you inquire about yourself, I
तो पता,
if I inquire, I can land in that Atma, which I can in inquiry separate myself in cognitively. I can separate myself from the Shariratraya. I am with Turiya Atma. Yes. Who will tell you that the Sharira is Mithya? Sharira will remain separate. My Sambandha is there. Who will take away the Sambandha? Sambandha being Mithya is not known. No self-inquiry will tell you it is not there. No self-inquiry. Somebody has to tell you. You're not Dashamastomasi. Like you, if you are counting 9, you have missed yourself. You cannot count yourself. Puja Swami used to say, you cannot stumble upon yourself. And there I'll add this. Yourself means even if you know yourself, your Swarupa cannot be understood. You will know yourself as existent. Yes, you didn't have a doubt. You know yourself as Chaitanya. You didn't have a doubt. You will know yourself as Ananda in Shushupti Anubhava analysis or in Samadhi experience. You will know your Ananda Swarupa. But that Ananda is limited. In self-inquiry also, you will know that you are this. But how will you know that you are not different from others? You are Sarvatma Bhava is not possible. In self-inquiry is not possible. That self-inquiry is driven by Shastra. Therefore, you need Shastra Acharya, Acharyavan Purusho Veda, Upanishadam Jnanam, Upanishadam Purusham Puchami. These mantras tell you. So that Shraddha has to be there. And of course, it is good to question, but you should always think as to whether Advitiya Jnana can come when Dvaita Mithyatva Nishchaya is not there. That Shruti alone can bring in. There are many works which have copied from Shruti, and Western philosophers also have made such claims. They say we also say, our Sampradaya also says the same thing. Our religion says the same thing. All these have basis in Shruti alone. So they can also lead to moksha because they have borrowed from these Mahavakyas. I hope it makes sense.
Yes, yes. Thank you,
Anyone else?
Swamiji.
Anything else? That's a good question. It should be asked. You should not hold back your questions. Okay. I'll see you in the next part. Namaste. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.